I am Anne at the library, and I'm very pleased to be able to welcome Kurt Stapleton of the Battlecap Project to talk about his project and crochet journey. So take it away, Kurt.
Hi, thank you very much for having me here. For those who don't know, the Battlecap Project, it is a nonprofit organization, and I custom crochet hats for people battling cancer. And I put together small care packages. And this is a free service that I do for anyone all over the world. And I literally just had a lady ask me from the UK if I send packages over there. I'm like, all over the world means all over the world. And this is 100% free for anybody battling cancer. So this whole project, there's a long story behind it and how it got started. I didn't just one day start crocheting and decide I'm going to start making hats. It was a journey. There was a lot of ups and downs in my life. And I'll just start from the beginning, I guess, to where it all kind of started happening. So back in, let's see if I get my time frame right. Back in 2006, actually 2005, my dad was diagnosed with bladder cancer, and it kind of hit me hard because he was my dad, and he lived far away. He lived in northern Minnesota, and at the time for me, that was a long ways away. Financially, I wasn't able to go and see him at all. It just wasn't a possibility. So, we just talked on the phone and everything seemed like it was going well. He was doing his treatments and everything just seemed okay. That's the way he made it sound. During that time, I was in, I guess, the early stages of a substance use disorder. And I was in a point in my life where I was contemplating, if I was happy where I was. Did I want to be here? Did I want to continue living this life? And I just had a lot of questions. There's got to be something better out there for me. I needed to make some changes, and I was afraid to take chances and risks because I didn't know what was going to happen. After a couple of months, in 2006. I got a phone call, and they told me, you got to come see Dad. He's not going to make it. And it was kind of out of the blue. I didn't realize it had gotten that severe. So we went up there, my ex-wife and I, and we went and saw him. And for the last time, apparently, unfortunately, I guess it was hard to see him that way. Cancer had just taken this man who's he was a truck driver. He was a big guy. Very strong and just, he was a rock, and cancer had just taken this guy and whittled him away to nothing. There's nothing left of him. So it was very hard to see and very, it was traumatic for me. And so on the way home, seeing his death, I was really doing a lot of searching, a lot of soul searching. And I came to a point where I decided, like, I need to make some changes. I'm not happy with where I'm at, and something drastic has to change. So I started contemplating divorce and leaving my wife and kids at the time. And at the time, it just so happens that I was playing drums in a band, and just kind of happened to meet this young lady who we connected, and we could talk to each other, and it was just amazing how everything just worked perfectly. And something in my gut was telling me, like, this is the one. At the time I didn't really think it was, but I felt like this was a risk I wanted to take. So I left my wife. I was already in the process of trying to figure out how to leave. I left that situation. I was kind of in limbo for a couple of months, and then I moved in with her, Nikki, my wife now. Been together for 16 years, I believe now. And in that time, I was really backsliding in my substance use disorder. It was getting pretty bad. I was starting to get kind of hopeless, um, bouncing, going from job to job, and just kind of losing sense of reality and hope. Really, I didn't have any hope, and I was very negative all the time. And in 2009, I'd asked Nikki to marry me, and she agreed. I'm not sure why, but she did. And so we got married in April of 2009, and it was a couple about 2 weeks after that where I made a very, very dark, very bad decision in my life. And I unfortunately, I robbed a pharmacy for painkillers to fuel my substance use disorder. And um, out of that came a sentence of 20 years. Um, so I got sentenced to prison, and that was the day. The day I got arrested was the day I started my recovery. Um, I realized that everything I had been doing up to that point got me to that point, and that wasn't where I wanted to be. So I needed to change my mind. I needed to change my focus. I needed to change the way I looked at things and how I perceived things, and just I had to do a lot of mental work, a lot of the internal work. And so, I started the recovery process right after I was arrested. Started going to different treatments and trying different things. I went to NA. None of it really kind of sunk in. I didn't relapse. I kept focus. But when I was finally sentenced and incarcerated, January of 2010. Holy cow. And yeah, that was pretty hard for me to swallow. Going from a person who had never been in trouble really in his life, never been in trouble with the law, um, all of a sudden I have two felony convictions, and I'm sitting here in prison. How did I get here? Well, bad decisions for one, and then the substance use disorder is what brought me there. Um, so fast forward about a year, I was sitting in the prison, and I see these guys knitting and crocheting like all the time. They're making blankets, they're making quilts, they're making hats and scarves and little teeny little mittens and teeny little booties. And I just kept watching this happen, day in and day out. And I was like, what are these guys doing? How are they doing it? And I just got curious, and so I sat down with one guy and asked him if I could try it, if he could show me. And he started showing me the kind of the basics of crochet. I just happened to pick that up. I don't know why. It was just the one I gravitated towards. And so after a little while, I was reading some books on how to crochet, reading patterns, and you have nothing but time. And so I just sat in my cell and I crocheted. And the yarn and the crochet hooks, they were all donated through church-run programs. They have them all throughout the state, and it was cool. It was really fun. It was something new. I've never done this before. It passed the time, and it really gave me a sense of pride. Look what I made. I was able to do this with my bare hands. And it gave me a sense of purpose. I was making blankets for friends and family. Nikki would come to the prison and visit me, and she'd be able to take these things home. I was making little mittens and hats and scarves for little babies and kids, and the churches would donate them back into the communities, and it felt good. And then so late in 2012, October of 2012, I was eventually released. I was released early because I did everything I was supposed to do, and I was a good boy, and I really wanted to get home to my wife. And so I was released October of 2012. And it took a couple of months to get my feet under me and get back into the swing of things. And I kept crocheting, kind of, here and there, just as a hobby, something to do, keep my mind occupied, keep me busy. And After a while, I started having like friends and family would ask me if I could make them a hat or make them a scarf or something, and that eventually turned into a little craft business that I had. I was selling, scarves and hats. I was going to craft shows, doing vendor events and stuff like that, and it was fun. It helped bring in a little extra income, especially around the holidays. Man, we really needed that. I had a lot of friends that would order and come back and order more things, and made me feel good. And there was one friend in particular. Her name was Jody. Um, Man, we went to high school together. I wouldn't say we were really good friends, but we knew each other. And but she kept ordering more hats from me, and she was a huge supporter. And she really liked, my story and how I was bouncing back, and I was trying to be better and do better. And it just made me feel good that somebody, someone else besides my family, believed in me. And then it was one day, I believe in 2018, Jody reached out to me and asked me if I could make a hat for her cousin who was battling, I believe, breast cancer at that time. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to charge you for this. I want to make one, and it's going to be from really, really soft yarn. And so I was really happy to do that. So I made her that hat, and Jody gave it to her, and she loved it. And then she asked if I could make her like a blanket. So when she goes for her chemo treatments, she could have this really pretty blanket to kind of keep her warm in those cold hospital, settings. And then I made her, it was a cancer ribbon kind of a pillow. It was something I've never made before, and it turned out really, really cool. I was really proud of it. And again, I didn't charge anything for this. It made me feel good to give back. And that sparked something, that that sense of pride and that joy of just doing something for somebody else. It was a selfless act, and it made me feel really good inside. Um, that's what sparked, my desire to do more. I thought, here's a way I could help other people. I can kind of give back to my community, get my karma balanced again, because my karma was not so good. But it also helped me kind of think in a more positive light. You know, do good for others just because you can, not because you have to. Do something for somebody just to make them smile, and for nothing in return. Um, so that felt good. So I started posting on Facebook. Um, I still remember to this day, it was, if you or somebody you know is battling cancer and you want a free hat, contact me. I'll make you any hat of your choice, absolutely free. And so, I had some friends and family, friends of friends, word of mouth started going around, and people were asking me for hats. And I was like, yeah, this is really cool. This is a lot of fun. Um, and then it was, I say, early 2020 of 19. Somebody contacted, I want to say it was Channel 3 in Madison, contacted Channel 3 and kind of told them a little bit about me and my story. And to this point, I had no idea that this was going to go down this road. But um, Jamie Perez from Channel 3 contacted me. She reached out to me and asked me if I'd be willing to do an interview and kind of talk about what I was doing and my recovery journey. I was hesitant at first. I wanted to say no, but I thought, wow, this could be a really good way to shed light on substance use disorder and people who have been incarcerated, and to show the world that we are worthy of a second chance. We can better ourselves, we can better our lives, and we can do good, positive things for our community. So I thought, what the heck? Yes, I'll do it. So she came over, we did the interview, it went really well. And then she let me know that CBS was affiliated with Fox, and I didn't realize that at the time, but they were going to air the same story on the same night on both different news stations. That went very well because Fox then aired it all throughout, or throughout most of the country, aired my little story, Recovery with a Purpose, I think it was called. Made me feel good. I thought, oh, there's my 5 minutes of fame. That's cool. But then I started getting emails from people all over the country asking for a hat. I was like, oh, okay, this is getting out of control here. It's kind of cool, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle all this. I have to buy the yarn. I was working full time, um, and we had a I think it was probably what 3 years old, 3.5 year old boy at the time. So handful of energy right there. But I was making these hats as best I could. And I was getting all sorts of crazy orders. Some lady wanted a ladybug, they wanted, hats with stars on them, and it was just getting to be too much. So I was like, I need to streamline this. How can I make these hats easy to make, kind of personalize them, kind of put my own little stylistic touch on it. So when you look at it, it's a battle cap. And after some trial and error, I figured out the stripes that I wanted to use. It's a basic beanie pattern. There's nothing really different about it. I do make them smaller than a normal adult size hat because they don't have hair usually. So want to make them a little smaller. So it started to kind of take shape in that way. And it was about 2 months after that, a lady from Channel 27, Isabella Lawrence, contacted me, and she wanted to do a little more in-depth story about me, and about the hats that I make. At the time, I didn't have a name for them. They were just, chemo hats. With the help of some friends from Facebook and longtime friends, we came up with the name Battlecaps. We call them Battlecaps because people are battling cancer. And it just kind of made sense. And I had there was an old gentleman who emailed me and asked me for a hat, and he was telling me about he fought in Vietnam War, and he's been through all sorts of different battles, and he was battling cancer. He would love a hat, and it just kind of like that name just fit. So I call it the Battlecap Project. And it, people like it. It works. It fits. And so it started to kind of take place. But that after that Channel 27 story aired, that's when things started getting really crazy. People started emailing, asking how they can donate, they can donate money to the project. And I started getting, I set up a GoFundMe and Facebook fundraisers, and some money was coming in. And I was like, okay, this is kind of cool, but how can I manage all this? And I was starting to get donations, yarn donations, which was really cool, really helpful. And so I was able to go through different yarns. And I found two specific yarn companies, yarn brands that I really like, and I've gotten a lot of good feedback from the people who wear these hats. So I stick primarily with a Caron Simply Soft yarn, and my primary yarn of choice is the Premier Everyday Worsted Weight yarn. They're super soft, great colors, easy to work with, and it's a great company out of I believe they're out of North Carolina. They've donated a lot of yarn to the Battlecap Project. I mean, a lot of yarn. It's crazy. So I want to thank the Premier Yarn Company for all they've done to help the Battlecap Project. Get back on track. So Channel 27 aired that story. That reached all over the country. And I can't remember her name, but a lady from CNN reached out, and I thought it was a joke. I thought somebody was just trying to prank me. I didn't take it seriously at first, until I looked her up on Google, and sure enough, she was a reporter for CNN, and she wanted to do a story about me and the battle cat, or the hats. And at that time, I was starting to call them battle caps. And so I did the interview, and it went on the CNN website, and that went worldwide. Next thing I know, I was getting people from the Netherlands, from Belgium, Norway, UK, Poland, Western Australia. It was crazy. I was like, how am I going to handle this? How am I going to afford this? So, that was where the orders were really coming in fast. And so I was I was scrambling, trying to figure out how to keep everything straight out. I was handwriting these orders, people's addresses. I started to do a Excel spreadsheet. I had no idea what I was doing. Thankfully, my wife helped me. I was drowning, but in a good way. It felt good that I was able to do this. And so with all the donations coming in, um, Nikki, my wife, she suggested, like you should put together a care package, buy some, some candy and stuff, and put together care packages. So, her and I kind of looked at different items, and we decided like sugar-free candy, ginger candy, because that can help with nausea from the chemo. One thing of lip balm, a small thing of hand lotion, a pair of socks. I like to get those the grippy socks that people use in the hospitals, but just like different colors, really really nice socks, because who doesn't love socks? And then the one thing that I found people really, really love more than the hat and the entire package itself are the really cool handmade get well cards from kids or adults alike. People love these cards. Um, I, I, I can't tell you enough how happy it makes a person feel. I don't know how many times I've gotten an email from someone. They're saying like, I just got done with chemo treatment. I was having a really bad day. I was feeling horrible. I have all this stress. And then I went to my mailbox, and this package was waiting for me. And I opened it up, and here's this care package with candies, and here's this beautiful hat. But then I opened the card, and that card just kind of that's what brings tears to their eyes. So it really felt good to be able to provide um, such a small a gift, and it means so much to somebody. Um, and so after a couple of months, I was really struggling to keep up, but orders started to slow down after a while, which was very very helpful. And I had a lot of people suggest like you should become a nonprofit organization. And I was like, I don't even know where to start. I have no idea who to talk to. I don't know where to turn, what papers to fill out. Like this is out of my ballpark. I don't know what I'm doing. All I knew, I was just making hats for people and having fun doing it. Um, so um, I think I posted something on Facebook, and a wonderful lady named Shonda reached out to me, and she said, I want to help. I love what you're doing. I love your story, and I want to support you. And she is the one who got me the nonprofit status. She did all the paperwork with me. She walked through all the steps, but she filed everything, and she got me going. I had help getting the website set up, and then she designed the website with me. She was a big help in this. She played a big role in getting this Battlecap project, looking more professional. And I owe her a debt of gratitude, because without her, I'd probably be paying somebody a lot of money to do this. And she did it out of the kindness of her heart. So I really appreciate that. Let me see. So it took some time, but I finally got like a certain hat style. I got the pattern down. I figured it out. And this is when I started having people reaching out asking me how can they help with the Battlecap project. Um, I always tell people, if you can crochet and you can read a basic pattern, help me make hats, because I need help. There were times where I was 70 orders deep, and as morbid as this is, people were dying before I could get their hats to them. There's nothing worse than getting a package returned back to me saying return to sender. And then I reach out to the person, and the family member says, oh, they just passed away. They didn't even get a chance to see the package. Um, so I needed to find a way to get these out faster. So um, I have a few people, a few ladies who have kind of rescued me here. A lady in Michigan, a lady in Illinois, a couple ladies in Wisconsin here who have been so generous to help make the battle caps um, for me, because I couldn't continue doing it myself. I needed help. So they helped, they get the yarn themselves. They don't ask for anything in return. I wish I could repay them for their generosity, because it means so much to me to have this support. So like today, I got a package, and I was able to get 6 orders together right there right before this meeting. I put 6 orders together. They're going to get shipped out on Saturday. So that was really cool, and I really do appreciate that. I had a lady from Michigan. She put together a tutorial video on YouTube on how to make the battle caps. A step-by-step process, and goes through the pattern and breaks it down, and really helped out. So that's all on the website, battlecapproject.com. You can go on the website. There's donation buttons you can click on. The order form is right there on the front page. You can request a hat. The pattern is right there. If you want a written pattern, you can see that. You can see pictures of Battlecap recipients from all over the world. To date, I am at 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm at 1,930 battle caps. I have sent these out to all 50 states proudly, and I think I'm at 22 different countries. And I believe on the website there's also a Google Maps where you can see every single hat and where it sits in this country and sits in the world. Really, it's they have those little map markers. They're everywhere. It's really cool when you zoom out. You can see them all over the world. You zoom in, you see them in a little city. It's just really cool to see. You can see hot spots, like Florida, California, and Texas are hot spots, but they're everywhere. And these are, like I said, for everyone. I've made a battle cap for the youngest was 7 months old, a little baby battling leukemia. Broke my heart. I hate making those hats. Those are the worst ones to make. And they get me choked up right now. I hate making those hats for the little kids. Because they're so innocent, and they don't even know what they're going through. So that's really hard to make those hats, thinking about the kid and the family too, not just the child, but the family. And then I've made one for a lady. She was 97 years old, and she was battling cancer, and she reached out and asked for a hat. So, I mean, for everyone. And the kids care packages are different. I don't put any of the candy in there. I don't know what parents want to give their kids, so I err on the side of caution. What I do put in the kids packages are cute little stress toys. They could squeeze them. They're squishy. I just got these little poppets. This is off a fidget spinner with the poppets in there. I give them a pair of socks. We got little kid socks, really cute. I have stickers. What kid doesn't love stickers? So the kids typically get fun little toys. They're small enough where they can have them in the hospital room, and it's not going to be, very distractive, but it gives them something to play with. The stickers are just for fun. I mean, stick them on anything, right? So that's what I put together for the kids care packages. And the adults, they get the candy, the lotion, the lip balm, the socks, and a get well, handmade get well card. I think that is about it. I don't know how much more. I guess I'll share a little bit about where I'm at today. So after a couple of years in prison, I was able to change a lot about myself, my perspective on life, how I thought about things. I started becoming more positive, started looking for the good things, and just really worked through the childhood traumas that I endured that I never dealt with. And that's what got me kind of over that hump in my recovery. I no longer need to use, I don't feel a desire to use. I'm 12 and a half years in recovery from my substance use disorder. And as of about 2.5 years ago, I became a certified peer support specialist. And I work with people. I started working with people primarily with substance use disorder, just meeting them where they're at in their recovery and helping them find resources, being a constant person in their recovery, being that person they can turn to when nobody else wants to listen to them anymore. Like, I've heard it all. I want to be that person that will listen to you no matter what. And so that really felt good to do that work. Another way of giving back and using my life experiences to help somebody else and still, inspire them, give them hope, help them find resources that they just didn't know about that were out there. And as of a year ago, I started at a great organization in Dane County called Chrysalis. And I work there full time as a peer support specialist, which is a very rare thing because it's salary pay and benefits, vacation time, all that stuff. Like, you don't see that very often. So it was a risky decision that I made. And thankfully it worked. And sitting here today, I am now the peer support supervisor at Chrysalis. So I'm in a supervisor role, more of a leadership role. And I still get to do peer support. And it feels great. I love doing this work. I love helping people because I never thought I'd be able to. And I love just watching somebody grow and become a better person, and just the feeling just never goes away. It feels really good to help other people because I was such a selfish person. Everything was about me, for me, about me. And, I'm sure I still have those traits, but I use them for a different purpose now. I think that's about all I have for the Battlecap project and kind of my journey of how it came to be. It's not an easy story to tell. There's a lot of things that took place in between 2006 and 2022, but it all brought me to where I am today, and I'm grateful for everything I've been through because I get to use my life experiences and the traumas I went through and I've made a career out of it, and I'm helping other people who are dealing with those issues and being able to show them hope and inspire them, and being able to make hats for people battling cancer, giving them a little bit of hope and a reason to smile, even if it's for 5 minutes. I don't care. The fact that they can look at this and see that somebody cares enough to do it, that makes me feel good. And I appreciate you listening to me ramble on about me and my story. I'm grateful for everybody who has helped me get to this point. Everybody who has donated, whether it's items for the packages, whether it's money, sharing Facebook posts, just word of mouth support. I love everyone. I thank you so much for your help. Please go to the website and just share the website, share the Battlecap Project Facebook page. I'm on Instagram. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much, Kurt. That was, inspiring definitely is a word I would choose too. Thank you so much for sharing your story. What a beautiful project too. Yeah. Oh, and it looks like we have a question. Share.
So yeah, I'm
okay, great.
Reading that. Yeah. Have you ever thought about involving inmates in crocheting battle caps to give them the experience of having a purpose like you experienced? 100% yes. Here's the problem I face. I am serving a 20-year sentence for the crimes I committed back in 2009. I cannot go into the prisons. I have no way to communicate with people in prison because I am technically on extended supervision myself. I would love to. And if I can find a way to do that, I would love to. But it requires getting the yarn sent in and getting the hats sent out and to me. Because the orders go directly to me. When somebody goes on a website and orders a hat, I get an email, I print that email off, And, you know, and I got the information right here. So it's like I send everything out. I do everything myself except for making all of the hats. I put the packages together. I ship it out every Saturday morning. So yes, I want to make that happen. That is on my to-do list, but it's right now it's a someday kind of thing. I would love to do that. Thank you for that question. Yeah, thank you for listening, Sherry.